Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
With cases of the coronavirus now topping 1,700 here in Michigan, Beaumont Hospital's announcing tonight their facilities are nearing capacity. Thanks for being with us for the news at 11. We now have at least 24 deaths in Michigan from the coronavirus, and we've just learned that death toll includes a second member of the DPD family and also 2 FCA plant workers.
Yeah, the UAW says a worker at the FCA assembly plant in Sterling Heights has died. The other worked at the plant in Kokomo, Indiana. Of the 24 deaths in the state, 8 lived in the city of Detroit. Nationally, 163 deaths reported today as the virus continues to spread.
Priya Mann is live tonight outside Royal Oak Beaumont, where they are treating hundreds of confirmed COVID-19 patients. Priya.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. Beaumont Hospital is saying that they are almost nearing capacity. Here are the numbers. Nearly 450 confirmed COVID-19 cases. 185 patients are still awaiting test results. Now, this is at 8 hospitals across the Beaumont health system. Beaumont Hospital says it has some ventilator capacity right now, but that could change as more people become infected. As is the case across the country, there's a limited number of COVID-19 testing material and processing equipment. Officials say Beaumont labs can process 400 tests a day, while currently many third-party labs are backlogged. In a statement, Beaumont says, "We're facing limitations and nearing capacity with our staffing, personal protective equipment, and mechanical ventilators. We're taking steps to increase our capacity, such as converting some of our operating rooms into intensive care units." As of Tuesday night, 24 people have died from the coronavirus in Michigan.
Today, this became deeply personal for me. Marlo was just a light to the city, a light to the region. More importantly, just a great dad.
Detroit native Marlo Stoudemire, a community leader who once worked at Henry Ford, leaves behind a wife and 2 young children.
COVID-19 took a 43-year-old with no underlying health conditions that had not traveled anywhere. And it's just a very sad day.
On Monday, Michigan reported its biggest one-day jump so far. As of Tuesday night, there are more than 1,700 confirmed cases across the state.
Diseases like COVID-19 are affecting all segments of the population. The social distancing that some find a nuisance, they should consider as their obligation. It bothers me to no end when I hear or see people that sort of are cavalier about it. We as a society can go on pause for a short period of time in order to make sure that we break this cycle.
Yeah, it's all about flattening the curve. Health officials are preparing for these numbers to go up. Of course, today was the first full day of Governor Whitmer's executive stay-at-home order. And if you do find yourself outside for any reason, make sure you're practicing social distancing. Stay at least 6 feet away from anyone else. Reporting live from Royal Oak, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
All right, Priya, that is such crushing news about Marlo Stoudemire. Just what a terrific guy, and was going to be a real leader in the city of Detroit. Talks are ongoing in Washington on a $2 billion stimulus packages go on at this hour. We know the deal includes direct payments to taxpayers, as well as hundreds of billions of dollars in other stimulus measures. Dan Scheneman has the latest.
President Trump repeated his wish to have coronavirus restrictions lifted in a few weeks.
Thank you very much. I said earlier today that I hope we can do this by Easter. I think that would be a great thing for our country, and we're all working very hard to make that a reality.
But one of the nation's top doctors took a more cautious tone.
We need to know what the penetrance of infection is there. So we need to put a light on those dark spots that we don't know. We have to act policy-wise on data, and we're going to be getting more data.
And that data is grim in New York. The state's governor says the number of cases doubling every 3 days.
The apex is higher than we thought, and the apex is sooner than we thought. That is a bad combination of facts.
And while 400 ventilators arrived in New York City,
what am I going to do with 400 ventilators when I need 30,000?
Other parts of the country also overwhelmed. A fairgrounds in Florida reportedly will serve as a temporary hospital, and hospitals say they are still low on protective equipment.
So you don't think about sort of your supplies or rationing, and if you need to be at the bedside, you're going to be at the bedside.
In Washington, lawmakers appear close to passing a massive economic stimulus package. And that caused a rally on Wall Street, one of the biggest in history. The Dow closed up more than 2,100 points. Dan Sheneman, Local 4.
All right, Dan, we'll keep an eye on the Capitol tonight. If anything changes, we'll bring you that news just as soon as possible. Meanwhile, we have to report tonight that the coronavirus pandemic is hitting very close to home here in our Local 4 family. Tonight, we've learned our very own Evrod Cassimy has tested positive for COVID-19.
He says he's overwhelmed, but he is on the mend, and he has a message for Local 4 viewers. Listen.
It's hard to even imagine that this is real life. Take this very seriously, because I would not want anybody to go through what I've gone through, and I took it seriously as most people are and still got it, but I am hurting, but I am going to be okay.
And you'll hear from Evrod more tomorrow when he joins Local 4 News Today from home.
And we are, of course, wishing Evrod a very speedy recovery. Think about him and his wife, Danielle, and their two sons, Shay and Malachi. So we're thinking about you. Get back here really soon.
Get well soon.
Yeah.
Well, as this pandemic began, you heard experts say things like use this time for quality family time and reconnect with spouses in loving ways. But as time goes on, we all know that's easier said than done when the whole family is cooped up together.
It can lead to severe anxiety, also even a rise in domestic violence. Let's bring in Jason Colthorpe live with advice for people who find themselves in those situations right now. Jason.
Yeah, exactly, Devin. And by the way, really want to echo those same sentiments to Evrod and his family, wishing him a speedy recovery for sure. Well, we do all love our family, but when, at some point there is a time when a lot of us throw up our hands and yell serenity now. And that's when doctors and social workers want people to be able to reach out and call someone if they're getting overstressed, to be able to call them and connect in this time, especially not just being overstressed, but also some people who might be in danger. Being forced to stay inside during this pandemic can get frustrating, but many can actually be in danger when someone in that house is also their abuser. The domestic violence shelter Haven in Pontiac reports calls to its hotline have remained steady through this crisis, but it expects them to jump once this is over, because right now not everyone is free to make that call.
People get on each other's nerves and things are going to happen.
Jill Blackson is the Deputy Director of Community Care Services. She's making sure patients with mental health issues are staying connected via telehealth to their doctors and professionals during the crisis.
You have folks who already maybe were struggling with anxiety and depression, and this has just taken it to a whole nother level.
She says it's actually helping patients and clients who have transportation troubles.
To be able to still have that connection with their clients has been really, really important. And to give the clients a safe space and some time to still process some of these feelings that they're having about what's going on.
For parents, well, it might actually become a refresher course in problem solving.
I think you just have to get creative, and when you're feeling that stress, like you're really, getting on each other's nerves, maybe take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break, a little social distancing in the house.
And now Care Services, by the way, also wants to remind people that even though it feels like everything is shut down right now, they are still taking new patients. So you can pick up the phone and call, even though everything else is seemingly shut down. And Haven wants people to know tonight its hotline is also open during all of this, and staff, you will be able to call and talk to someone. We put numbers to both places with this story at clickondetroit.com. Reporting live, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
A good resource. Okay, Jason, thank you. Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter announced new guidelines for those essential businesses that are still open during the stay-home order. They're being told to start screening employees before admitting them to work by checking their temperature. The order also suggests businesses maintain a physical distance of 6 feet between employees and between customers. Coulter said enforcement mechanisms will be in place at the sheriff's discretion, but the goal is not to put business owners behind bars. Well, Our week started with snow, but some warmer weather on the way here.
That'd be just fine. We're still waiting for a nice blast of spring here, Ben.
Yeah, just some sunshine I think would be good for everybody. Unfortunately, those clouds are still thick tonight. Now, a lot of this is high clouds from these showers that are running off to our south. So once we get these through tomorrow, you can already start to see things are breaking up here off to our northwest. So it is going to be our best window for sun tomorrow. It's just not going to be blue skies all over the place. So with some of that sunshine, temperatures up to 47 by lunch. We'll hit the 50s, and then we're off to the races as far as warm temperatures go. That's not going to be an issue. We'll see if we can hold off the rain, though, for the weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Guys?
Hey, Ben. Still ahead, Macomb County prosecutor Eric Smith facing criminal charges himself.
We'll have a look at the things he's accused of doing with $600,000 of county money just ahead.
And it's a critical supply that can't be bought or manufactured. How the blood shortage could hit home for local families and their message for you.